In this video, we're going to be making the wheel part 5's work drawing. So last video we made the wheel, and this time, again, we are going to be creating our drawing. So for this one, I'm going to leave it up to you guys for which template you want to use, if you want to use size A or size C. I've had students use both, and it works on both. Personally, for me, I prefer C. It gives me a little bit more wiggle room to put things down. But I have seen this one drawing done perfectly fine on size A. So unlike the train body where you have to have it on size C, this one I'm going to leave it up to you, your choice. Alright, so again, personally for me, I like size C for this one. So I'm going to use size C. Alright, so we're going to bring in our wheel, which is part 5. I'm going to place in the front. Alright, so for this one, a little bit depends on how you kind of made your piece to start with. So if your kind of little nub piece that's right here is in the same orientation as mine, the next view you're going to place in is the right view. If yours, for some reason, is at the top, then place in the top view instead, because we're going to be doing a section view to cut it kind of open to show some of the details on the inside, and depending on which way the little nub is pointing, that's the solid side, and then the one the nub is not on, that will be our section view. Alright, so we're going to now place in the isometric. Alright, so from here we are going to use the section view. And we need to change this from vertical to horizontal. Alright, so you can see that my line is, again, going horizontal. If yours is not, then just, you need to change that. Alright, so now I can move that up. Alright, so now I have my section A. And then I'm going to use a detailed view. And this one's going to look a little weird because I'm clicking kind of more over here. The reason for that is if I click... Here we go. If I click too far towards what I'm actually trying to get for dimensions, you can't really see what's going on. Alright, so for this bubble is way too big for me, so I'm going to change it to 2 to 1. So that just makes it twice as large. So what I just did right there is made a detailed view, so it's kind of like whatever's in this circle right here is being magnified, and oh, that's neat. Alright, so apparently if you hover over it, it reminds you which view you're on. Oh, and it does the same thing for section. Huh. The last program I used didn't do that, so that's a neat addition. Alright, so our next detailed view, we are going to be getting this section right here, so I'm going to go, probably right there is good. And again, I want to shrink this down. You could leave it large if you want to and kind of move it over here instead. I'll leave that up to you for if you want to make it a little larger. If you got the room, and you feel like you need the detail, then make it that large. Actually, let's see if we can change it after the fact. Yes, we can. Alright. Because for this one, yeah, we could just move it over here. And... there we go. That kind of gives us enough room now. And then if you need to change the size of this later on, you can kind of shrink it a little bit. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is add in my shading. Oh, not what I wanted. There we go. Show shading. And then on this view, I'm going to show my hidden lines. Alright. So now I'm going to add in my center marks. So there are quite a few on this. Oh, that is not where I wanted a center mark. I was trying to get this circle right here. There we go. Alright, and then going here and here. So on these, I'm not going to put in a center mark because it's just going to be too much of a mess. It's going to be too hard to see what's going on. And if you're wondering how I moved everything pretty easily there, if you have a mouse, the scroll wheel where you use to zoom, you can actually click that, and it's a button in itself, and you can move it around. It's called pan. Alright, so the next thing is, oh, almost forgot about our center lines. For this one, I'm going to like to use the edge to edge, just because it makes it a little easier to get to our different things here. So let's see. Nope, don't need any on there. And this one we can kind of stretch out. And, oh, thought it was going to stick out a little further. There we go. So that shows us that it is a little bit more symmetrical right there. Okay. So from here we can add in some more details. So we have, oh, actually let's go with our whole callout. So the reason why I have the detail views over here is to make it a lot easier to see what's going on for our information. So that gives us the information for the hole that's cut in right there. We have another hole that's cut in right here. Alright, so another piece that you might have a little bit of an issue with is the angles. So to get the angle, you go there and here, and then you can move it out and get the information. And that gives us the spacing. And then, I was hoping that would give us at an angle, but it would not. Alright, so for this, in another program, I used to be able to grab this line and use it as a line to dimension off of, but this program doesn't have that, so this 15 angle, if you can figure out how to put it in, let me know. If not, that's fine. And I'm just realizing that this is not centered. Well, hopefully you guys are better at centering that than I am for placing it in. So what should happen is this should be lined up directly on here. Unfortunately, I somehow didn't get it to line up nicely. Oh, there we go. That's how you move it. Okay, so that blue dot, so if you have the same issue where yours is not lined up, the little blue dot is where you click and can scoot it around. So we can see where it's kind of moving, and now it's centered. Alright, so just a little tip there in case you also had a misclick. So when you place it in, sometimes it's a little hard to see because the center mark isn't placed in yet. Alright, so that is kind of the very basics for this. There is a lot more dimensions you need to add in. Don't forget to also fill in your title block, and also rename the drawing tab to the proper name. Alright, so from here you're going to make sure you add in the rest of your dimensions. There are quite a few for this one, and you'll be all set. Alright, so good luck. And again, size C paper or A, either one is totally fine for this one. Alright, good luck.